our living ancestors. They are our direct connection to the African spirit and way. And we distinguish between the elders and those who are simply older, because menticide has driven some of us into a treasonous arrogance. Those who are truly elders are our seasoned visionaries. They are our proven warrior servant workers. They are those who uncompromisingly speak to what needs to be done, and this is a life of revolutionary sovereignty seeking experience. We hold our vision closer to their hearts because they are us on the horizon of return.
Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. Yo, I wonder if we seen the elders rise from the grave and they seen us today. What would they say? Envision as you see my words glide from the page. I imagine they would be so ashamed of our ways. We in the same position, maybe because we ain't listen. Do we like the discipline for the tunes they was spitting? Or maybe this was karma because we ain't show them honor. Word to Dr. Ben, we should have held them down stronger. Call it how I see it, maybe that was signs from Jesus. A metaphor on how we gon' treat our own leaders. They came here to teach us and we cheered from the bleachers. And when it's time to ride, we turn our backs when they need us. We pour libations, when we form our own nation. I pray we wake up and see the time we was wasting. We even seen Elijah lay the blueprint for black power. Peace to the scholars like Dr. Wilson and Tony Browder. Light us up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave around side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. If you can hear this, throw your fist in the air. We gon' do this for our family that's here. Yo, this is the hour of celebration for black power. To all the soldiers and scholars, give them their flowers. The frontliners like Jabari and the soul vibers. They rep Tubman City, they set the bar higher. And them brothers like KT, the arts degree, they gon' carry on the legacy of Dr. Savior. Peace to risen Islam and Brother Ben. With youth like them, we can end our own suffering. Break the curse of Willie Lynch with Charles S. Finch. Professor Small, take us back to the essence. I pay homage to Carlos Muhammad and Dr. Maya, torchbearers that kept it honest. The light is up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. My energy and my thoughts is like John Clark. Still on this marathon like Farrakhan. I got an army of riders taught by Elijah. It's how we start this evolution. For Patricia Newton.
Peace to the fam. Peace to everyone under the sound of my voice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace to the Maadian family. I see all of you are in the building. I see the Melanated Cafe. Peace and love to you, brother. I see Brother Rob, the Jempe poet, is in the building. I see Michael Scott. Kenyon Mans is in the building. Also, B1 for Life is in the building. Queen Mother, a beautiful mind, is in the building. Peace and love to your family. Right now, take a moment to thumb up this video. Thumb up this video. You know the way the YouTube algorithm works. The more you engage it, the more that it shows up on other people's feeds, right? Because they think, oh, this must be a popular video. Let me share it, right? It starts showing up, right? So make sure that you thumb up the video. Also, family, make sure that you share. Make sure that you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So if you're on Twitter, Tweet the link. If you're on Facebook, post the link. If you're on IG, wherever you are, family, in this social media space, please help me get the word out and let the folks know that I am live. You just heard Libation, a song by Almade the Apostle after Dr. Patricia Newton transition. I believe it was on September the 27th, 2021. I had reached out to him and I asked this brother, this is the same brother who created the Truth to Power Talk, my Truth to Power Talk theme song. So I reached out to him and I said, brother, I would like for you to create a song dedicated to our elders and to our ancestors. And that's exactly what he did. And in fact, if you listen to the beginning of it, that is the voice of Mwalimu Baruti, Baba Mwalimu Baruti. And hold on, listen to this. So you know that Baba Mwalimu Baruti, he has written extensively about the role of elders, right? The role of elders, okay, and what an elder is and what an elder isn't. And so this is his voice that you heard at the beginning of it. Hold on.
The elders are living ancestors. They are our direct connection to the African spirit and way. And we distinguish between elders and those who are simply older, whose menticide has driven some of us into a treasonous error. Those who are truly elders are seasoned visionaries. They are our proven warrior servant workers. They are those who uncompromisingly speak to what needs to be done, and this is a life of revolutionary sovereignty seeking experience. They hold our vision closer to their hearts because they are us on the horizon of return.
Shout out to Baba Mwalimu Baruti. I hit him up. I was like, Baba, we creating this track, Baba, and I need your voice on the track. And so Baba sent me his vocals, and Brother Ahmad, he put it at the beginning of the track. And I don't know if you heard my little shout out. Hold on, y'all. I gotta play my little shout out. Hold on.
And when it's time to ride, we definitely ride in the air. Power to all the soldiers and scholars, giving their flowers. The front liners like Jabari and the soul vibers.
Coming up.
They rep Tubman City, they set the bar higher. And them brothers like KT, the arts degree, they gon' carry on the legacy of Dr. Saber. Peace to visit Islam and Brother Ben. With youth like them, we can end our own suffering. Break the curse of Willie Lynch with Charles S. Finch. Professor Small, take us back to the essence. I pay homage to Carlos Muhammad and Dr. Maat.
Hold up, you heard the family. I was all geeked up. I ain't going front when I heard my little name mentioned. I was like, all right.
To visit Islam and Brother Ben. With youth like them, we can end our own suffering. Break the curse of Willie Lynch with Charles S. Finch. Professor Small, take us back to the essence. I pay homage to Carlos Muhammad and Dr. Maat. Torchbearers that kept it honest.
So in the second verse, he just shouting out like the new school scholars, the folks who are on the scene. So it's like the first verse was dedicated to the elders and the ancestors. And he mentioned a few elders in the second verse. But if you notice in the second verse, he kind of focused on the younger frontliners today. So anyway, family, we're going to put together a video. He and I have been talking about getting this video done for a couple of years now. And so we're definitely going to put together a video for this particular song. But shout out to Almade the Apostle. Shout out to Baba Mwalimu Baruti for this track. And I felt like it was fitting for today, right? Because today is Dr. Khalid Muhammad's birthday, right? So today is a holiday, a holy day for us, family. And see, we don't need to present the permission of another group of people to tell us what to honor and when to honor it, Ashe. And so today is a holy day. It is a holiday for our community because on this day, one of our great revolutionaries, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, was born, Ashe. And so today we just, we give thanks for him. We give thanks for his life. We give thanks for his dedication to resurrecting the Black man, woman, and child, Ashe. Ashe. And so thank you so much for tuning in. I see Sister Juju is in the building. Bibi Fahodiye to you, Sister Juju. I see Brother Steve is in the building. Baba Gerald Meeks, I see you, Baba. And Platinum and Gold TV is in the building. Wisdom Bars, I see you, family. Peace and love. And Nikki the God, I see you, Queen. Peace and love to you. Willie Rivers, I see you. Kenneth Gardner, I see you. So the Maadian family is definitely in the building, family. Definitely in the building. So today we'll be paying homage to our great ancestor, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And I first came across Dr. Khalid Muhammad's work. This was probably in like the late 90s. When I came across his work. I was down at Everyone's Place, which is, some people call it the Mecca of consciousness. I call it the Kemet of consciousness. Ashe. And so I was down at Everyone's Place, and back then they used to have, like, you go upstairs, right? So they have all like the garments and the vitamins and the oils and the herbs and all kinds of stuff downstairs, right? Jewelry, purses, and things of that nature. But if you go upstairs to Everyone's Place, that is where you have all of the books, written by all of our great scholars. And so every time someone comes to Baltimore and they want to see Dr. Maat, I take them over to the Kemet of Consciousness, which is Everyone's Place. Shout out to Baba Nati and Mama Tabia for giving the community this jewel. They ship books, not only locally and nationally, but internationally. They fed a lot of bookstores. They helped a lot of Black bookstores get started. And so anyway, I'm there one day. I'm actually in my late teens around this time. And I'm at Everyone's Place. And back in the day, they used to have like a TV set up in the back. And those of you from Baltimore, you know what I'm talking about. They used to have a TV in the back, right? And you could watch, lectures. And one day I walk in, lo and behold, what do they have? They have Dr. Khalid Muhammad on. It was the Donahue show. So somebody must have recorded his Donahue show and put it on like a DVD, and they were playing it upstairs in the bookstore. And so I'm listening, right? And if anyone who's ever heard Dr. Khalid Muhammad speak, he draws you in. Not only does he draw you in with his information, right, with his intellect and his information, but the way he presents the information to you is strong, is passionate, and it's humorous. It's funny. So he's like educating you, and while he's educating you, you're literally in the crowd laughing because he was entertaining, but he was serious all at the same time. So literally, I'm listening to this and I get pulled in. And so I go to Baba Nati and I say, Baba, give me some more of this. So then he gave me a lecture called The Goddamn White Man. Okay, so I end up purchasing the Donahue show, okay, from Baba Nati. And then there was another lecture, and you all can help me out in the chat. I believe it was called The Goddamn White Man. And then there was a third lecture that he did called The White Woman is a BITC, that one. Okay. He was off the chain. He was off the chain, and he went hard with his mouth. Okay. So those were the three lectures that I had purchased. And I remember going home and sitting there and just absorbing all, yes, there it is. So Ifa said cave. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Ifa. Thank you. That's what it was. So it was like, the goddamn white man. That was one lecture. Then it was, the white woman is a, B. And so I was like, okay, so I've taken all this stuff home, family. And I'm like, I can't get enough of it. So I'm listening to him. And I started doing my research on him. Saw that he, at that particular time, he was a part of the Nation of Islam, that he broke off and he did his own thing with he formed the new Black Panther Party. He did a lot of work. Shout out to Brother Jabari Nator. I was so jealous. I was on the telephone with Brother Jabari, and he had an opportunity. Brother Jabari worked with a number of our greats that I only wished that I had the opportunity to work with. And so he did a lot of organizing with Dr. Khalid Muhammad, brought him through Tubman City a few times. They did some stuff outside of that. I mean, he helped organize. I believe they helped with the Million Man March. He helped them organize, I believe, the 1 Million Man March or Million Youth March for reparations. So Brother Jabari has done a lot of work with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Hopefully, Brother Jabari, if you're watching, hopefully that I didn't mix anything up. But I know he worked closely with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I never had the opportunity of meeting Dr. Muhammad. I wish I did. So I only can see, I only had the shows to watch and the lectures to watch. And so I know that he traveled to different universities and lectures. Shout out to Kent College. I know that the brothers down there, they would bring him there to speak. So he's been to different colleges and universities, HBCUs, to speak. And at one point, I know that he was condemned for what he taught. I think it was condemned by the federal government, or the government for what he actually taught. They label him anti-Semitic. So when Kyrie and Kanye was labeled anti-Semitic for what they said, in my mind, I was like, whoo, if only these people could have heard the stuff that Dr. Khalid Muhammad said. He was unapologetically. He was like, if that's what y'all want to call me, go ahead and call me that. And so they labeled him a bigot. They labeled him anti-Semitic. They said all kinds of stuff, about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. But Dr. Khalid Muhammad was, oh my goodness, he was just a blessing from the Creator, from our ancestors, a huge blessing. When I think of intellect and someone being a warrior, that's what he exuded. I don't know, family, if you saw the gun. Did you see the picture of him with the gun online? I think he had a rifle in his hand and he has the red, black, and green flag behind him. When I think of a warrior, that's who I see, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, a warrior. And a warrior is one who is knowledgeable, right? Intelligent, right? Strategic, who operates with critical thinking skills. He was all of that. He had knowledge of self. He was committed. He moved with a purpose. Dr. Khalid Muhammad is, and they say that, I say is, because they say that we should never speak of our ancestors in past tense because our ancestors are omnipresent. Ashe. And so when I think of a warrior, if being a warrior was a person, it would be Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He was a masculine warrior. He wasn't like what you see today. He wasn't like the flim-flam stuff that you see today. He was straight up. He was straight up, unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic in his positions. And so anyway, family, that brother was, is truly missed. His spirit, we always say the spirit never dies, and it doesn't. But just him being in the physical, he's just, his spirit, that, here, presently feeling it, it is missed. It really is missed because he was genuine. You know what I mean? He was genuine. He was the real deal. Not like a lot of these people running around here today. He put in work. And I can't even say on this broadcast, the work that I heard that Dr. Khalid Muhammad put in, he put in the work. He checked folks if needed be. He wasn't scared to check folks. And see, that's what we got to do in our communities today, Ashe. We got to purge and start checking folks. You disrespecting black men, you got to go. You disrespecting and violating black men, you got to go. You disrespect and violate black women and children, you got to go. See, he didn't tolerate this foolishness that you all sit around and tolerate. The brothers doing this. He didn't tolerate this foolishness. He dealt with it head on. He dealt with it. We sit around and tolerate these clowns in our community. Clowns. They disrespect the men, disrespect the women, disrespect the children, disrespect the elders, clowns. And we deal with these clowns in this community now. We deal with it. Oh, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to offend anybody. He was unapologetic about that. He dealt with the clowns. You can be a buffoon around him. He didn't deal with it. He was a zero. He was a no nonsense individual from what I have researched. And see, those are the type of brothers that we need, the warrior class like that, to stand up and get these communities straight. Ashe? And so anyway, family, go ahead and like the video, man. Like the video. Sister Juju told you, like the video, man. Share this video. We're going all the way in. We're honoring Dr. Khalid Muhammad today. Let me share my screen. I always have some clips. And look, I forgot to click the audio, share audio. You all would be like, I can't hear it. I'm over here applauding. So this is the clip. I want to start it. Dr. Khalid Muhammad was on the Donahue show. And this was before he went to the Million Man March. The Million Man March was either in 95 or 96. Somebody help me out. I want to say it was 1995. Somebody help me out in the chat. But this was before he went to the Million Man March, because clearly during the Donahue show, he said, he's like, I can't wait, until I'm one in the number when, Minister Farrakhan takes 1 million men to Washington, D.C. Thank you, Brother Kemet, Brother Bay Kemet. Shout out to Kemet Asun. Hope I didn't butcher that. Shout out to them, those brothers that started the African-centered I want to say, and Brother Bay, tell me if this is true. I believe these brothers started the first African-centered fraternity in Morehouse in the 80s. Brother Kemet, let me know if that's true. I think they were the first to start the first African-centered fraternity right there in Morehouse. Those brothers put in work. But he said it was 1995. He said that's correct. Thank you, Hakim Muhammad. Thank you, family. So it was 1995, and I want to salute all the men who were there, all the men who went there and definitely made a statement, right? They were trying to oh, it really wasn't a million men. Remember that? Oh, it really wasn't a million men. They were trying to downplay it. They always do. They were trying to downplay it. But shout out to those brothers who were there. Shout out to all the coordinators, right? The Nation of Islam. Shout out to Minister Farrakhan, all of them who were there. But in this video, and my father, I got to salute him. My father and my uncle, they were one in the number. And peace be upon my uncle's soul. He's an ancestor now. He transitioned in 2015. He was actually the first man to tell me that I was a black queen. I never forget that. I was like 8, 9. I didn't know what Uncle Melvin was talking about, but he told me I was a black queen, and he made me feel like it because he used to shower me with perfume and all of this jewelry. And so shout out to my Uncle Bishmi Allah Rahim. His given name is Melvin, Uncle Melvin, but Bishmi Allah Rahim, peace be upon his soul. But anyway, so Dr. Khalid Muhammad during the Donahue show, he was saying, I can't wait until, Minister Farrakhan takes 1 million men to DC. And so, of course, this happened before the Million Man March. But check it out with me, family. Let's build. Let's listen to him. Let's reflect. I haven't watched this in some years, but I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and play this in honor of his birthday today. Here we go.
Thank you. How are you? This is Khalid Muhammad, former national representative of Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam. Mr. Muhammad is the man who made so many of the front pages of America's newspapers with a speech at Kane College, which so many people called anti-Semitic and a lot of things. At the very least, racist. You remember the comment? He picked up the Pope's dress, and let's see what's under that dress. Here's what you said about Colin Ferguson, the man who shot a Jamaican black male who shot 6 people on the Long Island train. Mr. Muhammad speaks.
Where they set black inmates up in these jails and penitentiaries, and in particular there in Nassau County, and pulled all the black officers out and the black inmates so they could jump on Brother Colin Ferguson because they were mad with him for catching the Long Island train and killing all them white folks. I love Colin Ferguson. I have no official position, so I can say I love him.
You love a man who randomly killed 6 people on a commuter train?
I love Colin Ferguson just as much as the masses of white Americans love General Schwarzkopf, General Westmoreland, General Patton, General MacArthur, and Eisenhower. America awards her killers, and they get ribbons and stripes and bars. I'm sensitive to the pain and suffering of the loss of life on that train, but I'm one of the rebellious slaves. And so when black people stand up out of pain and suffering and frustration, I understand after 500 years.
You also, you talk about the response of some African Americans to, for example, the book which attempts to prove that Jews are involved in the slave trade. I'd be happy to let them see that. You talk about when white folks can't defeat you, you said in your speech at Kane, they'll always find some Negro, some boot-licking, butt-licking, buck-dancing, bamboozle, half-baked, half-fried, sissified, punkified, pasteurized, homogenized nigger that they can trot out in front of you. I would ask you, Mr. Muhammad, is Jesse Jackson a boot-licking, homogenized nigger?
To the best of his ability, I believe he tries every day to do that.
Here you are mocking Jesse Jackson at a speech. I believe this is Howard University. Roll the tape.
Oh, boot-licking, buck-dancing, scratching, shuffling, messy Jesse Jackson. Keep. I am a somebody. I am a somebody. Keep hope alive. I am a somebody. I don't rightly know who the hell I am, but I am somebody.
Yeah. Are you an entertainer or are you a committed person to black people?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I believe that the liberation and salvation of the black nation must be brought about by black people gaining a thorough knowledge of self after our 500 to 6,000 year Holocaust, where we have lost over 600 million. And so I believe that that education process must be a process of two steps: inspiration and information. So I seriously give information, but black people are a people of rhythm and spirit, so I also give inspiration.
From your speech at Kane College in 1960, Chief Luthuli, the head of the ANC, received a Nobel Peace Prize, you reported to your audience, reminded them, for nonviolent struggle. Yeah. Just like Mandela just received it with F.W. de Klerk. How could you stand with your oppressor and your enemy and receive the Nobel Prize for nonviolent struggle? You do not support, then, Nelson Mandela's strategy in the struggle to free black people in South Africa?
Let us first of all be very clear here, Phil. Nelson Mandela is my brother.
So is
He
Jesse
is a member
Jackson.
of the family, and so is Jesse, and Jesse is a very brilliant man. We just want him to return home and stop being used by the enemy and the oppressor against his people. Now back to Brother Nelson Mandela. And certainly we can never mention Nelson without mentioning Winnie Mandela. But Nelson Mandela's attempt at a multiracial government in South Africa after the murder of men, women, children, and babies, and the rape of South Africa, a criminal settler colony that has been established like Israel there in that part of the world. I cannot go along with one man, one vote. Let me say why. If someone broke into your home, Mr. Donahue, and actually bum-rushed your home, and black boots stomped your door down, and came in and robbed and raped everyone in the household, and was able to take the wealth of your home and parlay it into an empire. This is an invader. This is an intruder. This is a murderer. This is a burglar. This is a criminal. So you have no responsibility to share your home with them after they broke in and committed the crimes that they did.
You want, you said about South Africa, we give him, that is to say white people, 24 hours to get out of town by sundown. That's all. If he won't get out of town by sundown, we'll kill every white that ain't right that's in sight in South Africa. We kill the women, we kill the children, we kill the babies, we kill the blind, we kill the cripple, we kill them all. We kill the faggot, we kill the lesbian, we kill them all. You say, why kill the babies in South Africa? Because they're going to grow up and oppress our babies, so we kill the babies. Are you seriously presenting yourself as a man interested in the future of your people with this kind of rhetoric?
I'm just as interested in the freedom of my people as I am in the self-determination of the Kujichagulia, self-development, them being self-defining, self-respecting, and self-defending. If the white man has killed millions of our people, and you cannot deny the undeniable and indisputable and irrefutable truth, fact, proof, and history of their bloodshed there in South Africa, I said it would be merciful if they would leave. I don't agree with a government, a sham government. No man walks out of prison after 27 years.
Hold up, y'all. Did you see the white folks' faces in the audience? Yeah, I can't be paying. I be paying attention to all this stuff, man. Look at the white folks. Look at their disposition, family. Hold on. Look at them. Hold on.
By sundown, that's all. If he won't get out of town by sundown, we'll kill.
Look at the white folks.
That ain't right. That's in sight in South Africa. We kill the women. We kill the children. We kill the babies. We kill the blind. We kill the cripple. We kill them all. We kill the faggot. We kill the lesbian. We kill them all. You say, why kill the babies in South Africa? Because they're going to grow up and oppress our babies, so we kill the babies. Are you seriously presenting yourself as a man interested in the future of your people with this kind of rhetoric?
I'm just as interested in the freedom of my people as I am in the self-determination of the Kujichagulia, self-development, them being self-defining, self-respecting, and self-defending. If the white man has killed millions of our people, and you cannot deny the undeniable and indisputable and irrefutable truth, fact, proof, and history of their bloodshed there in South Africa, I said it would be merciful if they would leave. I don't agree with a government, a sham government. No man walks out of prison after 27 years and becomes the president unless there's a script and a plan behind the scenes to remove the economic sanctions from whites in South Africa, but no real plan for redistribution of the wealth. The Oppenheimers, the De Beers, and others there sucking the blood of our people. So I said, be merciful. Give them a period of time. Truman gave the Japanese a period of time, but when they didn't comply, he dropped the bomb on men, women, children, and babies. I make no apology for that. I believe that the invasion of South Africa was an act of unprovoked war. One nation against another nation, and nations must fight for the self-determination. They had no business there, Mr. Donahue.
Yes. Would you like to see Aristide return to Haiti to his rightful, duly elected position as president?
From what I have learned and studied of President Aristide, from what I can see and those I've been privileged to talk to who are close to him, he appears to be a very sincere man. He appears to be a man who really loves our people there and wants to see our people breathe free and correct the problems that colonialism and other disruptions is very definitely at the root of. However, Phil, I do not want to see my beloved brother, President Aristide, returned to Haiti by the power of a Bill Clinton. Because if Bill Clinton can help to return him there, he will always attempt to be the puppeteer who will pull the strings and try to dictate to my brother how he should carry out the affairs of government there.
Mm-hmm. Your comments appear to bespeak a political position in which you have no interest at all in reaching out and hoping and working for a multiracial community of harmony and peace. Am I correct in saying you have forsaken that ideal?
My arms are tired, Phil. We've reached out for 500 years.
Too late now.
We faced tanks. We faced water hoses and cattle prods. Vicious dogs bit the breast of black women off in those protest marches of the civil rights movement. Vicious four-legged dogs sicked on us by two-legged dogs, bit into the groin and the private parts of black men, women, and children. So, Mr. Donahue, I believe that the white man is absolutely disagreeable to live with in peace, and that no one has been able to get along with him nowhere on the face 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth.
And so you will continue this rhetoric. You will continue
And action.
And action. Action. What kind of action? Strategy to affect what in the United States of America? Let's start with us.
No wise general sits with a representative of the opposition to discuss battle strategy and battle plans before the entire world. I don't think that would be wise. But the mission of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the mission of my spiritual father, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, whom I love very much, and I want to be in that number when he takes 1 million black men to Washington, D.C. to call for reparations and justice. Their work is a work of liberation and salvation. Their work is a work to raise the mentally and spiritually dead black man and woman after we have been robbed of our names, our language, our religion, our culture, our God, our folkways, mores, and robbed of a power, the power of our own being.
Lift up the Pope's skirt to see what's under there. This is high school stuff. Words like faggot. It's an immature sort of failure to really get out of the old Beavis Butthead kind of environment. Certainly you can't be proud of this kind of language that you use.
Well, if it is high school, then the Bible, listen for a second, the Bible speaks of lifting up the skirts of the garment. Oh, I'm surprised that you feel. It's a metaphor. It's symbolic language. I'm not at all interested in what is under the Pope's clothes. I'm not into that. It's a metaphor.
Let's see what's under there.
But it is a metaphor to say, let us expose the Pope, according to H. Shelton Smith, President Emeritus of Duke University, in his book entitled In His Image, quote, the Catholic Church and the Pope were directly involved in the institution of slavery. They financed slavery and gave the okay that it was good business to sell Africans. Lift up the skirts of his garment so that we can see the shame and reveal what has been hidden. But it has nothing to do with sexuality whatsoever.
Well, what do you suspect has been hidden?
I believe that it has been
perpetrated before the world to discover what it might be.
Well, we're saying lift up the skirt again. I don't believe you're missing what I'm saying. Well, lifting up the skirt again, as the scripture says, raising the skirts of the garment. I'll say it once more for you, and only once more. Has to do with revealing the history, the hidden history. When you lift up someone's garments, then you show their shame. You show up their private parts, that which they normally hide from the rest of the world. I'm not dealing with organs under the garment. I'm dealing with the organ of slavery and those parts that have been kept private from the masses of the people.
We are in New York City with Khalid Muhammad, and we'll be back in just a moment. Here is just one of the comments that provoked the Anti-Defamation League to take out a full-page ad.
Here we go. The Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, aren't these the same organization who was after Kyrie and Kanye? And shout out to Dr. James McIntosh, who came on his platform twice to point out the hypocrisy of the ADL and how the ADL has attacked all of our Black leaders and organizations. So shout out to Dr. James McIntosh. Family, make sure that you go back and check those out. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I will drop the links in the chat, okay, of the conversations, discussions I've had with Dr. James McIntosh, so you can check that out. Here we go.
In the New York Times and other newspapers, what the ADL did essentially was publish in the New York Times some of the things that you said. Here's a part, this is an audio tape of part of your speech to Kane College last November that created such furor. Khalid Muhammad speaking.
The hook-nosed, bagel-eating, locks-eating, imposter perpetrating a fraud, Johnny-come-lately, just crawled out of the caves and hills of Europe, wannabe Jew.
Not presuming you haven't been asked this before, but may I ask you kindly to speak to the loved ones of Schwerner and Goodman, who died with one of your brothers, Cheney, buried in a shallow grave in the South in the middle of the Civil Rights Movement, because this black man was seen with two white Jews down there causing trouble, trying to promote the civil liberties of your people. Two Jews found in a shallow grave. I happen to have met the mother of one of these very brave people. And when she sees this, we can only speculate what must go on in her heart. You would want to say what to her?
I don't have anything to say to her.
You just condemned all Jews with that observation, with this alliterative kind of Jew bashing that so excites your largely male audiences.
Well, I wonder why. It means that I speak the truth. I speak to the pain and hurt of the masses of black people. I speak that which many of them wish they could say. That's why they cheer and applaud.
Speak to Mrs. Goodman,
and I speak that also,
speak to
which
Mrs.
many
Goodman.
of them only whisper behind closed doors. I think it is very arrogant to put this on the screen, and for you and for others to attempt to tell me, one of the Holocaust victims of the African Holocaust, displaced in the death and decadence of the diaspora of the Western world, after having been robbed and raped and murdered, to tell me how to hurt. These are strong words that you put on the screen, but you cannot tell the aggrieved and the victim. As I was talking to Brother Malik Zulu Shabazz, the young student warrior from Howard University, and we were going over this. And we said, how do they expect to tell we who have suffered so much how we should speak? When you are hurt, you'll say faggot, you'll say cracker, but you don't want to give me time to say where these terms came from and how they apply to your people here in America.
If it is true that I don't want to give you time to explain the etymology of these words, it is also true that you apparently don't want to respond to my question regarding the loved ones of two Jews who lost their lives to stop the diaspora of the black people.
I don't know.
Do you have any?
I don't know why they were there, and you don't know why they were there. But
Really?
I must say this.
So you're wondering whether they were there for your people?
I'm not wondering at all about them. I'm concerned with the suffering and the pain of the masses of black people. No one wants to pay reparations. The Jews received over $100 billion in reparations and gets $4 billion annually. A Holocaust museum was set up for them on this soil for over $200 million, and they get $21 million annually just for operating expenses. But the Catholic Church, the Pope, the Jews, the Arabs, white people in general, no one wants to pay reparations to these, the sons and daughters of Africa. So I speak to them. I speak to them. I don't speak to the family of those two Jews. There are too many of us for me to speak to them.
You don't want to take any time to make any particular
We've given
statement.
all the time we've been in America. Now it's time we do something for ourselves. We are the same people, Phil, that when you beat us and rearrange our eyeballs in the socket and rearrange our face and beat us and stomp us before the world, we're the same people that get up because God just made us with tender and sensitive hearts as his chosen people and say, well, can't we just get along?
Be united. The United States House of Representatives, in an unprecedented action. I don't know whether there's a precedent for the U.S. House to take its time to debate and vote on the condemnation of a private citizen, but it has done that. 435 members of the House of Representatives debating the condemnation of Mr. Muhammad. Here are two members of the House on opposing sides. Calling for the censoring of Mr. Muhammad is Congressman Lantos, followed by Congressman Abercrombie, who makes a statement in behalf of free speech. Watch this, House of Representatives.
On November 29, 1993, at Keene College in New Jersey, Mr. Khalid Mohammed, a senior representative of the Nation of Islam, delivered an outrageous and violent attack on the principles of racial, religious, and ethnic intolerance. His attempt to incite violence by preaching bigotry and hatred must be swiftly and forcefully condemned by this body.
Governmental sanction against any speech, objectionable as it may be, is always suspect. Is always suspect. The Constitution has proven to be our strongest safeguard against the Mohammeds of the world. Let us respect and revere the Constitution of the United States and vote down this resolution.
Congressman Abercrombie's position did not carry. The final vote by the House of Representatives on the matter of condemning Mr. Muhammad was 361 yea, 34 nay. You have, sir, been condemned by the United States House of Representatives. I assume you are flattered by that action.
I believe that my ancestors, I believe that the blood that cries out from the grave of my ancestors who went to an untimely death at the hands of the white wicked slave traders, I believe that they cry out, their spirit is around me and their spirit emanates from me. And I believe that as a righteous man of God, but as a freedom fighter and a revolutionary, it is one of the greatest honors that could be paid.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
One question.
Oh man, this is like my favorite part when they start taking questions from the audience. Here we go, family.
For the white audience that's watching this, a lot of times they ask, what can they do to help the situation? And I feel that they should go over to their people and represent this issue the same way this brother puts his life on the line for us. They should be doing the same thing, because otherwise it's going to be a one-sided view. They need to reach their people as well.
Yes.
What I'd like to know is, what do they say to the KKK, the skinheads, the Nazis? They're so worried about this one brother. What about them?
Well, I don't know whether you want to suggest that all white folks support the KKK.
Well, enough of them do.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody says anything about
What?
Nobody disputes the facts or his facts. His facts are right and exact, and no scholar will debate Dr. Khalid, because Dr. Khalid is right.
When I saw that, I was like, is that Nas? Somebody tell me in the chat. Don't that brother look like Nas?
I'm going to answer that lady's question. Half of the white population does not support KKK. But this gentleman up here is throwing prejudice towards white people only, and it's unfair.
Yes, my thing is, if what he's saying is not true, let's bring somebody forward to prove him to be a liar.
Muhammad, can you please tell me why it's blacks who are killing hundreds of thousands of blacks in Rwanda and other places? And can you please tell me why from Haiti, blacks from Haiti are just risking their lives to come here to the United States of America?
I'll tell you if I get a chance. Black people have been robbed, as I said earlier, of a knowledge of self. And when you rob people, sir, of a knowledge of self, then it means that they start to take on the characteristics and the nature of their oppressor and their colonizer. And his mind, by automatic, systematic, remote control, rules in our people. He gives them the guns and the weapons and the drugs and the alcohol, the way you did our brothers, the red man and the red woman, brothers and sisters, the way you did our Latino brothers and sisters, and then you pit one against the other and then say, look at what these people are doing.
Adolf Hitler perpetrated the Holocaust.
May I have your attention, please? Thank you.
Adolf Hitler perpetrated the Holocaust on 11 million people that died, 6 million of which were Jews, 5 million were others. Am I to understand that you would very much support his way of doing things, and him for that matter?
Sir, this is not reverse racism nor discrimination that you could tie into your statement on Hitler. If the slave master is whipping the slave and blood is running down the slave's back, and that's incidentally where the term cracker comes from the cracker man who was had the crack of the whip on the slave's back. But if the slave takes the slave master's whip from him and starts whipping the slave master with his own whip, that is not reverse racism, that is not reverse discrimination, that is the slave getting out from under the yoke of bondage and oppression. I don't advocate what Hitler has done before the world. Hitler's struggle. I went to the Holocaust Memorial Museum and I tried to separate Hitler as a freak of nature from the rest of white people. But after all that we have gone through, I know that there's a little bit of Hitler in all white people and a lot of Hitler.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
To the Jewish brother up there, well, not brother, but the Jewish man. What about Goldstein, who slaughtered 39 Palestinians and became a Jewish hero? Publicly, rabbis said what about the fingernails, Dr. Khalid?
Said that the rabbi said that the fingernail of one Jew was worth more than all of the Arabs in the world. And the New York Times ran the lead story with the photo showing the Jews fouling past his grave.
Yes.
They not only called him a hero, but a saint.
Yes, may I make this point, Mr. Muhammad? The atrocity perpetrated by Goldstein was roundly and publicly condemned by the entire leadership of the Jewish community in America, as well as the leaders of the state of Israel.
Let me ask you this.
They publicly condemned that action, and I can't even get you to look into the camera and convey even the remotest notion that you have in your heart some love for two Jews who died trying to save black people in the South. I speak of
You cannot get me to look into the camera and do that.
Yeah. May I ask you to kindly speak to that?
You cannot get me to look into the camera and show love for two Jews. I don't even know them. I live with this pain and suffering every day among my own people. Look at our babies. They're in the Oakland, in the Bay Area. They're watching Schindler's List. You have your Schindler's List, but for us, it's been a swindler's list because someone is attempting to steal our birthright. They stopped the movie. Take our babies out of the movie as though it's such a moral outrage. And then Spielberg comes in. The governor comes in. What about the statements of the Jew, Howard Stern, the comedian, Jackie Mason? What about Moshe Dayan? What about the fact that members of the Senate have made racist comments and Congress, and they were voting against me, but they were not brought up by their own colleagues in that so-called august body?
Yes.
Hello. What I'd like to point out is just as you said that you can't judge all black people by one person, you can't judge white people by just Hitler. What you have to realize is that we're in a diverse nation, which is America, and we have a lot to learn from everybody in this room. I feel I do, from all black people, all white people, and anyone else who happens to be in this room with me. America.
It's always one, family. Isn't it always one? America, it's all, she's the sister that will be out there with the red, white, and blue on during the 4th of July. That right there. This is always one.
Briefly, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Muhammad, could you please tell me, does Islam believe in Judaism and Christianity? And under Islam, are Jews and Christians are people of the book? Do you believe that? And further, do you believe, sir, that one people and one book sent by the same one God? And you referred to the people up front that they are your brothers. Is it possible, Muhammad, Mr. Muhammad, that I am your brother also? And is it also possible that we are brothers truly responsible for each other? Is that possible?
The Holy Quran says that the messenger of God believes in what has been revealed, and so do the believers. And I am a believer. In Islam, we believe in one God whose personal and proper name is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that one God, we believe, sent all the prophets and the great ones in the great line of divine, and we believe in all of the revealed scriptures. I don't know you, sir. I could feel that if you were attempting to live according to the law of God, then you might be my brother in the faith, but not my brother by nature.
That's right. Mr. Muhammad, are you aware, Mr. Muhammad, that the courts-martial system on or about or in or about World War II condemned many black sailors for their involvement in handling munitions, where many of them died as a result of their handling these munitions? Would you believe, Mr. Muhammad, that the Jewish war veterans that I'm proud to represent took this issue on, and we have condemned the United States Navy as it relates to the deaths of these sailors, and we have condemned them for their continuance dishonorable discharge of these black sailors? I ask you, Mr. Muhammad, what have you done on this specific issue?
Well, it's kind of difficult to believe you on anything, but I would say this, that I do know that during that same war, that America was, as is today, so racist until the German officers, when they were captured, could eat in the same mess hall and have the same accommodations as the white American officers. But the black troops were segregated, couldn't come into that mess hall unless they were scrubbing the floors and washing dishes. So it was a white man honoring another white man, though one was American and one was German, and they were supposed to be enemies. There was still a tie that was able to bind the two together.
And we'll be back in just a moment. You want to show that? What is that? Is that a...
It's a black man being burned alive with an audience like this cheering and applauding and tiptoeing to get in the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi.
Yes.
I'm representing Queens College, and everyone is talking about what's been denied. But the problem that we have as students is our history is not being taught in the textbooks. Right. And by me being a student and a citizen of America, I would like to know, when is that time going to come so you can learn about my history and understand my people? We are not in your books.
Yes. Sir.
Yes, Phil, I like to say that, you know, what he's saying is being backed up by Jewish scholars as well. This is not only the information that Khalid has. Jewish scholars have the information. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. He came to Fort Worth, Texas, where the police department is killing black men wholesale. 6 black men have been killed in less than a year. But through his effort, there's been a change on the gang members' part in our community. So we appreciate Brother Khalid.
Yes, sir.
Being an educated college person, I see that you can always bring up events like this where people have been killed in mass murders from all people. Let's learn off the past and not make high school comments like yours and put down Hitler-like manners and try to form peace and learn off the past and from the future.
Sir, you wanted to say. Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I like to see us lay to rest this whole notion of anti-Semitism. The one thing that is an incorrect statement, because the whole idea of a Semites were people who lived in southwestern Asia, including Northeast Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, who spoke Ugaritic, who spoke Ge'ez, who spoke Ethiopic, spoke Hebrew, who spoke Arabic. Those are our people. We are a Semitic people. Therefore, we cannot be anti-Semitic. Ashkenazic Jews are calling us anti-Semitic. We cannot be anti-Semitic because we are the descendants of a Semitic people. Let's lay that to rest. That was a weapon in the hands of the Jews since 1870. They used it against other people, but it doesn't work against people in Northeast Africa. Thank you.
He killed it. The elder killed it. See, this is when Kyrie Irving and Kanye, see, this is the type of clips. I'll probably take this clip and put it out there tomorrow. See, this is the type of stuff that should have been circulated. This elder killed it, family. He killed it.
Sir, I get it. That's just something. Beautiful. I can't believe exactly what I'm hearing. We went to war in World War II to fight for the freedom of speech. We didn't fight for freedom of speech of hatred. Many of our members, I'm a national commander of Jewish war veterans, and over 50,000 of our men died fighting for your right to free speech here now. I don't understand why you come out with such hatred.
Phil, excuse me, Phil.
Mr. Muhammad.
Sir. You make me sick to my stomach with that. Because at the same time that you were fighting, you were not fighting for the freedom and independence of black people. Soldiers, black soldiers in segregated companies lost their lives on foreign soil there, but would have to come back and fight just to get a bite to eat and not have to go to the toilet on the side of the road somewhere in the bushes. So you're nothing but hypocrites, and you won't pull that small-time stuff over on me.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't we talk about how the merchant Jews come into our black neighborhoods and they suck the life and the money out of our neighborhoods and put it back into their neighborhoods?
Briefly, sir. Briefly. First of all, I'd like to say peace to all the gods and the earths and all the people that came here to represent. Brother Khalid is definitely a true warrior in the cause of black struggle. What I'd like to say as a young black youth is that I feel that America has subjected me to a Holocaust. You understand? From all my ancestors all the way back to even right now, Rodney King, the brother Staten Island, all we've been subject to is death and destruction here. And as far as Jewish people, in the Bible, it say that ye are of the synagogue of Satan. And I'd like to ask you people, why do you feel that you have cornered the market on sympathy, and why can't you feel the pain of the black Holocaust? Why do you think that when we say the black Holocaust, that it's some blasphemous statement? I'd like for y'all to address that.
Yes.
All right. Beautiful.
All right. First of all, yes, first of all, with regard to the last speaker, the NAACP was partially founded by Jews. But now I'll get to my question. All right, now let me just say one final point. Eldridge Cleaver once said, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I'd like to just end this show, hopefully, by some positive note and ask Khalid if perhaps he'd tell us what his real agenda is. Is it just to go out and try to talk about hating people, or are we going to have a race war, or are we going to have cooperation? We're going to try to work together.
Yes, thank you for the question. I'll give you an opportunity to answer that question when we come back in just a moment. To our agreement with Khalid Muhammad, I'm pleased to share this number with you. This is the Black African Holocaust Council 800 number, 1-800-859-0170. I say again, this 800 number is 859-0170, the Black African Holocaust Council. The gentleman has a question of Mr. Muhammad. Are we going to preach hate? Are we going to have a race war? Where are we going, and what would you like to do to promote where you think we should go?
We are taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to show courtesy, respect, and kindness, to be polite to all people as long as they are courteous, respectful, kind, and polite to us. But we must look at the fact that we don't teach hatred. Everywhere we go as black people, we face hatred. Look at it. Look at it. Angel food cake, white people say, is white. Devil's food cake, you say, is black. You wear white to weddings and black to funerals. Black ball, black male. You give us a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pale-skinned, buttermilk complexion Jesus in contradiction to the black Jesus with nappy hair in the Bible. Our own babies, according to behavioral scientists, our baby girls, when confronted with choosing between a black doll and a white doll, there's been so much damage done. They choose the white doll and say the black doll is ugly. So racism is everywhere, and it's institutionalized. We cannot really be racist because racism is prejudice plus power. Nothing I say up here nor anywhere in the world will impact, will impact on any white folks in this audience, on your job, in politics, in economics, in housing, in the society. We don't have the power to do that, so we cannot be racist. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this sister, y'all know who she is. This is the sister. Remember, she was the lawyer, and this is the last comment. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you all can come in and just reflect on Dr. Khalid Muhammad, just memories that you have of him. But this is the sister from New Jack City. You don't remember she was Miss Hawkins, and Nino Brown sat in the courtroom. You know, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, Miss Hawkins. And she said, yeah, you know, Nino, I'm sure the court was entertained by your diatribe. And she said, but the society is not on trial, Mr. Nino Brown. You are. You remember she read Nino Brown. But anyway, family, she's going to kill this. And Brother Bay Kemet, he was waiting on this as well. Here we go.
I would just like to say to this gentleman, I would like to say to this gentleman and all other people who are not blessed with melanin at this point in time, to understand that what has happened in our history is that you have been misinformed as much as we have been misinformed. Much of the information that is brought forth, not only from Dr. Muhammad, but other areas, other scholars, are not available to you, as the sister said, in your curriculums that you have for 400 years when you did not allow us to read and write and was being hidden. Whether you, sir, personally did that or not, it was a legacy that was passed on to you. And I end by saying the Holocaust is simply the greatest atrocity on film. Ours was not filmed.
Yes. I don't understand Islam. I am a Christian.
May I have your attention, please?
Certainly. But I am a Christian, and you mentioned Jesus. Let's go back historically and see what Jesus did. Jesus died for me, and he died for you. Jesus is a God that loves all men, and all men are created equal.
I just wanted to answer the gentleman over here's question. This young man wants to answer you. With respect to the race war, there will be a battle between black and white. And I fast and pray today that God, Allah, in his good time, remove all white folks from the planet Earth.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
I feel the gentleman over there made an incorrect statement. That really was not necessary. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Second. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that my love and loyalty goes to Dr. Muhammad. And sister over here is a little lost. She got the contact lenses and, the fake lenses, but we won't go into that. It's no news. All right. My point is, there is, we seem to be attacking issues that really have no relevance. This is one man making a statement that is factual, like brothers and sisters said. These are in the books written by Jewish scholars, not by him. He's just quoting, and we're attacking him. So, what's the name of this book, brother, please?
Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews.
Okay.
Yes.
I have time only to thank you all for your contribution to our discussion. Thank you for joining us. Join me in thanking all the speakers for their contribution.
Services provided and promotional.
Oh my goodness.
Fire! 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 Fire!
Oh my gosh, that was nothing but a powerful, powerful family. That man, I'm telling you, I could watch this like 2 and 3 times. I'm telling you, and I've seen it several times, and it never gets old each time I watch it. So, family, at this time, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Come on in, family. Build with me for a little bit before I close out. Build with me for a little bit. So he mentioned, oh my goodness, Malik Zulu Shabazz. How many of you have this book right here? The Book of Khalid by Malik Zulu Shabazz. How many of you all have this book that was written about, Dr. Khalid Muhammad? If you don't have it, make sure you grab it. I believe that he does have it on Amazon. I know at one point the Amazon link wasn't working, and so he was doing his own distribution, distribution. So anyway, grab this book. All right, the Book of Khalid. If you want to learn more about Dr. Khalid Muhammad, make sure you grab this book. Also, family, there was another book that he mentioned. Hold on. And I want to say something really quickly. Hold on, let me go back here and here. Hold on, I'm gonna grab the book really quickly. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Should have had it ready. All right, here we go, family. Let me get back on the screen. Secret relationship between Jews and blacks. So this is what they were holding up. All right, this is what they were holding up. I know that there were a few clips of Riza. I always call him Riza Islam, but Riza Islam was talking about, different things that transpired between blacks and Jews, and everybody, just amazed. He got it from reading this. It's 3 volumes, okay, of this. And this is where he got his information from. So a lot of the times when he's on these panels, and this is no this or nothing like that. I'm just giving you sources so you can read the information from yourself, family. Okay. And so when he's on these panels and he talks about these things, he's getting it directly from these books. Okay. Secret relationship between Jews and blacks. I believe this is volume 1, and they have volume 2 and volume 3 available. Okay. Volume 1, 2, and 3 available, family. So make sure that you grab it, okay? And also, if you want to learn more information about Dr. Khalid Muhammad, you heard him shout out Malik Zulu Shabazz during the Donahue show. He's like, I studied with this brother. He called him a warrior youth from Howard University at that time, right? Well, he published a book. About Khalid Muhammad. All right. So, family, make sure that you grab the book. And also, if you want to learn more about the relationship between Jews and blacks, get all 3 volumes. I read volume 1. Okay. So I can't vouch for the other 2, but I'm hearing that they were wonderful books. So make sure that you grab that. Family, I dropped the link in the chat. All right. And I want you to come on in. If you don't come in, I'm going to close out. If you don't come in, I'm going to close out, family. So come on in and share your thoughts about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. How did he impact your life? What did you learn from him? Some people said they met him. I was looking in the chat and some of you said, oh, I met him. I remember meeting that brother. And I'm like, wow. Like I remember going to that lecture. And I'm like, dang, I didn't get a chance to do all that. But definitely a fan of his work. And someone said in the chat also that they're taking a lot of his lectures off of the internet. And I believe that they are, because if you just listen to the Donahue show, I'm surprised that this is even still accessible on the internet. So let me say something, family. What we need to do is make sure that we archive a lot of these lectures. See, Transatlantic Productions, Baba has a lot of lectures on the internet. We need to be downloading these things, not just looking at them, family, but downloading these things, putting them on hard drives, get back to putting stuff on DVDs. I know it sounds antiquated, but think about this. If we just upload all of our content into cyberspace onto these other platforms, then they can delete these things, right? Anytime they want to. So they could say, oh, then next, you no longer have access to these lectures. Once YouTube says, well, we consider that now hate speech, and they delete it. So when you're watching a documentary or a video that you enjoy, download it, save it in the Google Drive or on your Google Drive or an external hard drive, right? Or on your computer. Download it and save it, family, because at any moment, these people could say, all right, let's take it off. And then now we no longer have access to these lectures, right? So anyway, I see it says Dr. Bombay. Peace and love to you, Dr. Bombay. You have the floor.
Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, Doctor, for allowing me onto your show here in the panel. Baltimore Stand Up.
Thanks, Doc, for coming on.
I've been really appreciating your commentary on the great Dr. Khalid Muhammad and all of the other commentaries that I've been hearing. I had no idea that he was such an honored man. I just thought, well, that's somebody I'm familiar with. Definitely one of the last great warrior soldiers, brilliant man that we have. And I'm just wondering, like, is there? I don't hear anybody today that sounds like him. You know,
No.
as you said, people are borrowing from his knowledge and things like that, furthering their cause for the, their YouTube channels and Instagrams or TikToks or whatever they're on. But this man was, had boots on the ground. He was out there. He was leading, and it was a very definitely a great loss, having him taken away from us. And it's sad, and it's a shame, because there aren't many replacements for such a man, And just hearing him inspires me, because the more that I hear him, the more I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not
Same
involved.
here. Same
He
here.
inspires me. It's like I'll fall off for a while, get caught up with careers and family, but then all of a sudden I hear him speak. And and what I love about him the most, and then I'll close, is that even when he had to separate from his teacher, he still honored him, and he was very respectful. He didn't go on a slur campaign, or he wasn't bitter publicly. He just simply spoke on it, said that's father and son business, and I have nothing but the greatest respect. And he is the complete definition of what a real man is, a black.
Ashe, Dr. Bombay. I concur with everything that you just said. Even during that split, it was amicable. He didn't. Nowadays when people break up, it's all over the internet. The way people move today. I'm gonna expose you. Oh, I'm gonna put this information out on you. And like you said, no, it was amicable. He went his own way and still, held Minister Farrakhan in high regard. And I couldn't agree with you more when I think about, black manhood. It's Dr. Khalid Muhammad and it's Malcolm X. Oh, when I think about black manhood, those two are like my top. I feel like they just exude, everything that our young boys should look up to and everything that our men should be. So thank you so much, Dr. Bombay, for coming on and sharing your thoughts about Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Peace and power to you, brother.
Thank you as well, sister.
Knowledge born Allah. Can you hear me, Knowledge? I can't hear you, brother. You got to unmute your mic. I didn't mute you. There you go, brother.
Dr. Maat.
Peace and power to you, brother. How are you?
Love and Black Power. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love everything that you're doing. Can I start there just really quickly? Can I really
speak your speech? Speak your speech, brother.
Your love, you understand what I'm saying? Like the greatness that's a symbol that you have provided over this last year or two. In this truth to power discussion, so critical, so many aspects, and putting together so many pieces and faculties of the African mind that have been fractured over the years. You're repairing us and putting us back together. You think about, Dr. Westy up here, Brother Nuri Muhammad, the brother in the family, like so many of the wives' tales and things that we had to, for so many years, Dr. Maat, hear through hearsay or generalize or speculate. The Truth to Power series has been so dynamic in helping us put those pieces back together and reframing our mind in actuality. Sometimes we get in philosophy and we philosophize and we get all the way to the moon and stuff. Truth to Power series has kept us grounded. And this is another example. Your work with our youth, your work with Baba Amin and the Huru Academy, getting our youth back to STEM. I know you just said, and I know the doctor said y'all not doing enough. Y'all are doing a phenomenal job. I think y'all need to give yourself some grace and some love, because you are affecting the generations and bridging a gap where there was a gap generationally. Many of our leaders, many of our teachers, many of our scholars, they transition without being able to put this back to the youth. Actionably. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Dr. Khalid was one of our scholars, warrior scholars, African retributionary scholars, who gave us the tools and the language, which was most important. He gave us the tools and the language to speak to people in their language. I was a young man, as you know, Dr. Maat, around 18, 19 years old, and joined the new Black Panther Party for self-defense after the first Million Youth March. That was the one and only time we all got to meet Dr. Khalid, myself personally, and some of the events that took place actually in the streets of New York. You see what I'm saying? So we met Dr. Khalid. You see what I'm saying? So that was a changing moment in my young life and young development. You see what I'm saying? So many of the things that would happen and transpire thereafter were very eye-opening. And one of the tools of recruiting was being able to be relatable to people in their language. Because people got different religious ideologies and traditions, and you have to be able to speak those. And he spoke those in such an eloquent manner. You see what I'm saying? And he's able to reach us and inspire us and motivate us in that particular way. So I just wanted to say, thank you to you, and thank you, for this platform, and to the family, create a call to action to support and get around this platform, and let's get it together, because what MELTREK, what at Anime Productions, what all the lives that you have changed around the globe with this narrative, getting our history right, getting our mind right, with the book clubs, with everything that you have done. I just wanted to take that moment to include you, in this, particular celebration. I don't think you get celebrated enough. You understand what I'm saying? We've seen, everything else you've been through, for those that know. You see what I'm saying? So, how about the props and the honor be greater than the disrespect ever was? Let's change that narrative. You see what I'm saying? We lost so many greats, and you gave us the opportunity to see so many greats and study so many greats work. Some folks who have come on this platform that's across from you are now ancestors.
Yeah.
So you have an ancestrally protected platform. So let's bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen, and let's continue to uplift this Truth to Power series and Dr. Maat for all her work.
And look, brother, you gave me my flowers, but I like to give you your flowers back, brother. I want you to talk about the Do the Knowledge Radio, brother, and your platform, because you've been going hard in the paint for years. I think that you have done, I think it was like 500 or 600 interviews at some point. Can you tell me, what was the number, brother? I know it was bananas. How many, what are you up to now? Like
3,000.
Oh, I said 600. You like, nah, 3,000.
Dr. Maat playing, she playing. That's all good. I love her. You understand?
Oh my goodness. You said 3,000?
Yeah, we're going into our 8th year, 3,000 episodes and counting. So
wow, brother, been doing extraordinary work. And thank you for opening your platform to me. You opened up your platform to me, my family. We came on, you helped us promote the MELTREK series. So I thank you for that opportunity. I remember I had the honor of meeting you when you came to Baltimore, because you were in the competition. It was like a conscious Olympics. Yeah, you were doing that, and you came to Baltimore. And so appreciate that work. You've been hosting a lot. I know that you have hosted conferences, on your platform. You've streamed conferences on your platform, and you came up with the name of my first book club, Resurgence of the African Mind, because you used to say that all the time, Resurgence of the African Mind. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. The RAM Book Club, Resurgence of the African Mind. And that was the first text we read, Blueprint for Black Power by Dr. Amos Wilson. And so you came up with the name of the first book club. And so anyway, I know you gave me my flowers, but I believe in my art reciprocity. I got to give you your flowers back, brother. And just thank you for all of the work that you've done for our people. So peace and love to you. You have any closing words? Do the knowledge.
I just wanted to say, support this platform, and just remember on the 14th, which is 2 days from now, Dr. Amos Wilson's transition day, is on the 14th. So, if you haven't gotten to this book or gotten to the series, you could go through the archives and see, those strong minds of brothers and sisters going through the book, going through the chapters. I think we took about a year or so to go through, that particular reading. You see what I'm saying? And everybody's asking what's going on. Like our ancestors, our scholars, they wrote everything. They laid it all out. You understand what I'm saying? So all we have to do is embrace that and continue to move forward. And thank you, Dr. Maat, for all that you do and all that you will continue to do.
And Knowledge Born, they're asking in the chat list, it's still Do the Knowledge Radio, right? So people say, what is his platform, right? Do the Knowledge Radio.
Yes.
And you live stream on Facebook, YouTube, and what else, Brother Knowledge Born?
Facebook, YouTube.
Okay, Facebook and YouTube. So it's Do the Knowledge Radio, family, because some people in the chat are asking, they say, what's the name of your platform? Do the Knowledge Radio. And brother Knowledge Born, I think we should go live. And I think it was the 14th or the 15th, but let's go live. I think you right here transition on the 14th, but let's go live on Sunday, for 1 hour, get up in the morning, maybe around 10 or 11 o'clock, go live, and we talk about the work of Dr. Amos Wilson. And I'll reach out to some elders to see if they could come, through, and elders who actually worked with him and help write his books and edit his books and all of that. And so I'll see if some of those elders can slide through on Sunday. But let's do that, Knowledge Born. Let's work out the details, behind the scenes for Sunday. Okay.
Okay, I'm definitely honored. I love this platform, and I love you, Dr. Maat.
Hey, I love you too, brother.
All right.
Peace and power.
Peace.
All right, family. So look, I dropped the link in the chat, but many of you did not come in. So this is my outro. Black power, black power, black power to everyone under the sound of my voice. I want to leave you with the words of our great ancestor, Geronimo Pratt. Hold on. He said, Uhuru, freedom, sasa, now. All right, family. So peace and love. I will probably be live on Sunday morning. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, be sure to come on over, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you will be notified. Because you know me, I'm not on a set schedule. I just, when the mood fills me, I just be like, all right, I'm going to go live, right? So make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can participate in the live discussions. I thank all the brothers who came on, Brother Knowledge Born and Dr. Bombay. Baba, I mean, you always do this, man. Baba always do this, man. Baba, cut your camera on, Baba. Baba, cut your camera on. We can't see you, Baba. Oh, you can't.
Look, I would cut my camera on, but I ain't in position.
Okay, I got you. Baba, you always, every time I get ready to go out, you slide in real quick. I say, Baba.
Look, because it seems like I'm always in the car.
Okay.
And I'm like, let me hurry up. I gotta hurry up. I cover the house. I gotta put the groceries up. I'm like, let me get to the thing. Let me get to it. It's but I had to come in and just say, long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I had to say it. Dr. Maat, great show. We watched the Donahue.
Thank you, Baba. Yeah, we had to, Baba. That's a classic.
That's the greatest episode of Donahue ever. Period. Period. I've seen it. Man, if you black, especially you pro-black, and grew up in my generation, you've seen that 55,000 times.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it never gets old.
Never.
And I was riding and I'm listening and I'm listening to the brother pray to Almighty God, a lot of white folks off the face of the earth. And all I screamed was, I miss the 90s. We was raw. The 90s was so raw. We were grabbing that information between hip hop culture and black culture. We was grabbing that information and just being unapologetic with it, And I'm from Fort Worth. And that brother was from Fort Worth, spoke, about Khalid when he came to Fort Worth. I was there. I was at that lecture when he came to Fort Worth, and then followed him to Dallas the next day, and we were entrenched in dealing with the street organization issue, street wars in Fort Worth at that time. And he did make a profound impact. You know what I'm saying? And just that, man, I went down memory lane with that one. We went down memory lane. So now, a lot of these young activists or conscious people, what they need to watch that's a case study right there, on how you deal with those questions, those hard questions, unapologetically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nothing but love, Dr. Maat.
Absolutely.
Dr. Khalid had a profound effect on my life, period. And my last thing, my first exposure to the Nation of Islam, I was invited to a study group, and it was two things that made me come back. The pretty sister that was serving them red snapper fish sandwiches, and Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad's lecture called "The Goddamn White
Man." Yes,
changed my whole perspective. I was done.
Baba, I talked about it earlier today.
Yes.
I talked about it earlier.
Yes.
He had those. It was three things. It was the Donahue show, like you said, the goddamn white man, and then remember the one about the white woman is the
bitch, and the white man's a son of a bitch. Oh
yeah.
And he broke it down, and those were spiritual lectures. very spiritual. Like he broke it down, and I never saw anybody use words like that,
No.
and it set me right on that trajectory, you know. And so yeah, but that's what I got. I just wanted to jump in and give my 2 cents and pay homage to the God.
Ashe, and Baba, thank you so much. But you're producing more gods with the Uhuru Academy. Could you tell the family? Could you tell the family about the Uhuru Academy, Baba, before you jet out?
Absolutely, family. You know what I'm saying? In the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, my wife and I are independent educators along with Dr. Maat. And we have a beautiful, beautiful institution called the Uhuru Academy. We have a campus here in South Carolina, UASC International, and we have sister schools throughout the country. But we also have our online private school, K through 12, always enrolling because we're in an education crisis, African-centered curriculum, STEM focus, vision development, you know what I'm saying, focusing on our babies' mental health, giving our babies a safe space to express themselves and to create. That's the Uhuru Academy. No excuses, y'all, and don't let the tuition fool you. Call me. Let's work something out. We also do homeschool coaching as well, and we have an adult education program called Operation Reconnect for adults 16 and up. All right. African-centered empowerment-based education at its finest. www.uhuruacademy.com. Let's get it.
Let's get it, family. uhuruacademy.com. Baba, can you throw that in the chat, the link in the chat, so people can click around? Thank you so much, Baba. Peace and love. Thanks for sliding through, Baba. Baba Kemet. Hold on. I got to drop a bomb for Baba Kemet, man. This is the first time this brother has been on my platform. Hold on. Had to drop the bomb. Baba, unmute your mic, Baba. Peace and love to you. How are you? I can't hear you, Baba. Unmute. You did unmute, and I saw that you unmuted, but I just couldn't hear you. Unmute again, Baba. Oh, he left back out. Tyrell, unmute.
Dr. Maat, can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother. Peace and love to you. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dr. Maat. Dr. Maat, I want to say you're doing a great job. I watch you often. I went to Morgan 10 years ago. I'm going to write you on Instagram so you know who I am. But thank you, Dr. Maat.
So I do know. So you're saying we came in contact with each other at Morgan.
Well, I went there 10 years ago. I just found you on Instagram probably a year ago, so we didn't come in contact. But I'm just, because I knew you were a teacher there, just letting you know I'm a bear. So
you're a bear. Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm
brother.
gonna get up with you on Instagram. But now I wanted to say, you brought on about Khalid Muhammad. Man, I found Khalid I was on YouTube and I was listening to Dr. Amos Wilson, and brother Dr. Attorney Alton Maddox introduced him. Right. And so then I started listening to Dr. Attorney Alton Maddox. And then Dr. Attorney Alton Maddox, I clicked on some of his videos and he introduced Dr. Khalid Muhammad at some speech. And I started listening to the speeches and I'm like, man, this man is so powerful.
Yes.
And as a young man, I really don't hear anyone, talking like that. I know, he definitely was probably one of the last, great warriors we had. Steve Coakley, who, when you had Jawanza Kunjufu on here, I watched his Donahue thing too, and he had a great interview with he was on there with Huey Newton, and I forget the other brother he was on with, and that was a good interview too.
Yeah, it was three.
Yeah, I forget the other brother, and but I say that all that to say, man, Dr. Khalid, he taught so much, man. They took so many of his speeches off the internet.
Yes.
He gave so much knowledge and so much power. He was so fearless. He was so fearless. I don't see that fearlessness and unapologeticness, in us anymore. And he was such a great organizer. He always had boots on the ground. I remember I watched a video of him in Texas with the brother when they dragged that brother and they had decapitated him. Yeah, he went down there.
In 1998.
Yeah, he talked about that. Yeah, I watched that video on YouTube and how he talked about that. You mentioned a book with Malik Zulu Shabazz. I found out a lot of information from his death from Dr. Attorney. Yeah, the book of Khalid. I found out a lot about his death from brother Steve Coakley. When you had the brother on here that was talking about Dr. Leonard Jeffries, I forget his name.
Dr. James McIntosh.
Yes, he asked you if you knew about Steve Coakley and you weren't familiar with Steve Coakley. I would
No.
highly encourage you to YouTube Steve Coakley.
Okay.
He was very good friends with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. He has interviews with Khalid Muhammad on YouTube, and he talks about his assassination and, you know, who they think did it, and, you know, how the government did little different things. And, you know, Steve Coakley, he called himself the namer of names. And he dropped, I learned so much from him too, Steve Coakley. He talked about, there were some things he even talked about Malik, you know, Zulu Shabazz, you know, how during Khalid's death, Dr. Khalid Muhammad's death, I think he said Malik, I don't know, I don't want to say it. You'll hear it. He even talked about, I heard you mention the other day, you were like, for Kwanzaa, a lot of people were going at you about Dr. Yes, because Steve Coakley has an interview with him too back in the day, you know, just accusing him of things, you know, and presenting evidence of certain things.
So
and
it was together, like Dr. Karenga was present in Steve Coakley, so they were like dialoguing and he was going back and forth, or this he
yes,
just kind of, oh, I got to look at that one. Okay, I'm glad you put me on with that. I'm gonna check that one out. Brother Tyrell? Brother, did he go out, family, or did I go out?
And, you know, Steve Coakley is like, yeah, I got paperwork for this. And so, you know, they kind of got into it after that. But it's the clip is on YouTube. And he talks about, you know, Steve Coakley talked about him in a few speeches. And just different things. Coakley always had a lot of paperwork. He always had paperwork for anything he ever said. He always had books. He always had news articles. He talked about, it's a video of him walking through Boston, explaining Freemasonry and different things like that on YouTube. And I found all of this on YouTube, and it just sparked my brain. But now that's all I wanted to say, man. Khalid was such a great speaker and such a strong warrior. I didn't realize how united we were in the 90s. All the conscious minds were together. There's videos of Amos Wilson, Khalid Muhammad together in the same building, Dr. Attorney Alton Maddox, John Henrik Clark, Steve Coakley. It's just so many people, so many names that I'm probably forgetting. But I didn't realize they were together. There was some oneness. Even though they had a lot of differences, they always put those differences to the side and you know, they always could hash it out for the greater cause. And I always thought that was super dope. That's another thing I really don't see now. I don't see two opposing sides that can agree to disagree peacefully. You know, it's always very, you know, when we disagree, it's very treacherous, you know, then, you know, dirt comes out and then it gets ugly. Our ugly side comes out. But I felt like in the 90s, I watched a lot of clips. I'm going to send you a lot of these clips. Even though they agreed to disagree, they still got the job done. And Khalid and Steve Coakley even fell out towards the end. But Steve Coakley broke down his death, Dr. Khalid Muhammad's death, you know, like what hospital he was in, the doctors that picked him up, a lot of stuff. I'm going to send you these clips. But thank you, doctor. I thank you for letting me come on and keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you coming through, brother Tyrell. Like, thank you for coming through. Please connect with me on IG. Send me the clips. But in the meantime, I'm gonna do my due diligence on brother or Dr. Steve Coakley. So thank you so much.
Coakley, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for that reinforcement, brother. Appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you.
Peace and love. Thank you. Baba, unmute your mic. Let's see if it's working, Baba. Baba Kemet. I saw you go out and come back in a few times, Baba. Oh, Baba, I wanted to hear your voice. Baba. I saw that you joined from your cell phone. I think that would probably be more ideal to just join from your cell phone if you can't join from your computer, because for some reason, I can't hear you, Baba. All right. It says right here, cabin. As far says Dr. Ma was a beast in high school. She always had a better grade than me. The lowest I got in math was a 90 out of 100. Did you go to Poly, brother, or Woodlawn? Let me know, brother. Which one did you go to? Was it Poly or Woodlawn? You know, I got kicked out of Poly the end of my 9th grade year. Yeah, I got kicked out of there, not for grades, but for fighting. Brought a weapon to school, got kicked on out, and then ended up going to Woodlawn and graduating there. I went there in my 10th grade year. But I was very, very competitive. And he's right. I was very competitive. And I was always good with math. Always good with math. So I guess, Brother Cobbin, you're not surprised that I went into engineering, right? I guess you weren't surprised I went into engineering. But all right, yeah, let me know, brother Cabin or Cabin. Let me know, brother. Let me know. Brother David, what did you say? You said, Dr. Mike, can I have info from to get my nephews for electrical engineering programs? What kind of electrical engineering programs, brother? Are you saying, doc, like undergraduate stuff? Or this is what I would say, brother David. Visit consciousingenuity.com. So if these are like elementary, middle, and high school children, visit consciousingenuity.com and subscribe to the email list. Also, reach out to Baba at the Uhuru Academy. Okay, uhuruacademy.com. Baba dropped it in the. Oh, okay. So conscious ingenuity, brother David. I see what you just said. Yeah, conscious ingenuity. Or you can go through the Uhuru Academy because we work together. We implement, we deploy the conscious ingenuity program like within the Uhuru institution. So you have two ways to go about it. You can go straight to consciousingenuity.com, subscribe to the email list. And so when we have another virtual STEM boot camp come up, then you'll be notified of that and any other resources. And then also, we have these summer STEM boot camps. Okay, brother? And so you can go to consciousingenuity.com or go to the uhuruacademy.com. Okay. All right, brother David. You said, okay. You said, thank you, will do. All right, brother. Consciousingenuity.com. Sister Brenda said, can I get you to come speak at the Absolutely. South Carolina is my home, Sister Brenda. My family's from Sumter County, South Carolina. My maternal lineage came out of, so that woman, she came through Charleston. And then from Charleston, my ancestors migrated up and we ended up in Sumter County. I think I said up. I think up and over, right? With Charleston. And I think it's kind of like this. So we're off of 378, Sister Brenda. That's where my family lives, off of 378 in Sumter County. So my great grandma, all of them, my whole maternal lineage, it's right there out of Sumter County. So sure, just let me know. Let me send you my email address, Sister Brenda, so we can organize that. I would love to come down to South Carolina. I'm putting my email address, Sister Brenda, in the chat, dr.maat.msu at gmail.com. All right. Baba.
Yes, ma'am.
Peace and love to you, Baba. How are you?
Hotep. Peace and love to you, Dr. Maat.
Hotep, Baba. Peace and love to you.
I was watching your show, but I had to leave. And I'm glad you were still on when I got back. I was listening to when you had the one about Dr. Khalid Muhammad and the guy on the show he was on.
Donahue. Yes, sir.
Donahue. And he had Louis Farrakhan on that before too.
Yes. Baba? All right. So, Baba, you must have, I think they're saying you went out. I thought it was something on my end, Baba. I was waiting for you to build, Baba. Something that's going on your end, Baba. Okay. So the family said they can't hear you, Baba. They said they can't hear you. So try going out, Baba, and coming back in. I really wanted to hear what you had to say. I wanted to hear. He's right. Minister Farrakhan was on Donahue. Also, our great ancestor, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, was on Donahue. And those white folks treated her terribly. It pained me to watch it, but she handled it with grace. She didn't get upset. She didn't let those white folks see her sweat. All right. And so, yeah, Donna, you brought on some of our folks. You even heard the young brother Terrell said he brought on Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu. So he had a lot of our people on there. Okay, so the family said he went out. All right, so I was waiting for Baba to come back in, but we're going to have to close this up, family. All right, I will be back live again. Back live again on Sunday, and probably around 10 or 11 o'clock when I wake up. So make sure, family, that you hit the notification bell. Make sure that you are subscribed. YouTube has literally been unsubscribing people. So some people say, I didn't even know you were live, and they will go check and they were unsubscribed. So family, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you are notified. Thank you for coming in. Ahuru Sasa. Freedom now. Amani na Amanda La. Amani na Amanda La. Peace and power.
We're feeling the energy. This one's for the people. I am the I can show you better than I can tell you. God, put your fists up in the air for black power, cause you know we got that. Black power, it's the melanin in your skin. Black power, change the world, rise above. Black power, put your fists up in the air for black power, cause you know we got that. Black power, it's the melanin in your skin. Black power, change the world, rise above, lie. Black power, 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 black power. Power. Stand up, rise above for black power, black power, black power, black power, black power, black power, black power. Put your fists up in the air for. I got my fist up in the air for black power. Now I say peace, king, not nigga. 187 on a racist cop, nigga. The pain, the change from which we rise above. We don't die, we multiply with the love. Although we cry, we closer to the plug. Fuck being fly, black fly, put your toasters up. We the only ones to save the day. BRS, the only ones to make the change. He don't love you, girl, his mind on the dope game. Stay, you love the way he stroking his rope chain. They thinking they fading us, but really they making us. I came from Shockman back and you know, scraping up. I realized the message is bigger than making history. The devil got the whole industry. They wanna be niggas and hoes in the industry. I know God sees what the world don't. As I write this the realest that I wrote. I know God sees what the world don't. As I write this, the realest that I wrote. Put your fists up in the air for black power, cause you know we got that. Black power, it's the melanin in your skin. Black power, change the world, rise above. Black power, put your fists up in the air for black power, cause you know we got that. Black power, it's the melanin in your skin. Black power, change the world, rise above, lie. Black power.
I could never be pessimistic.
I'm into getting more paid, striving like an optimistic. In these last days, I was in my prayers, can't put one past me. With the energy of God, you can't last me. They are evil, they words shall not cast me. I had to make it out the trenches at time. I play both sides of the fences. Pause, chill, I don't mean to be offensive, but what I say, I meant it. Other words, it is what it is. Did a couple beers, now I live for the kids. In this parallel world, I'm free. No jail cell. Watch what I say, cause it's that real. I gotta keep on writing, feeding their spirit with the true and living. Now mega star brand like true religion. I'm hearing this rig, whoever win elections. No, I'm not big or pop up in the session. One thing we got in common, it's a blessing. I can only be a dugger when I'm finessing. Throw it up for black power, cause you feel the message. Throw it up for black power, cause you real. Put your fists up in the air for black power, cause you know we got that. Black power, it's the melanin in your skin. Black power, change the world, rise above. Black power, put your fists up in the air for black power, cause you know we got that. Black power, it's the melanin in your skin. Black power, change the world, rise above, lie.